Yo, there we go. All right, guys. So if you guys are joining in here on YouTube, we're waiting for Ricky just to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started here in a second. All right. How's what's up, bro? Santiago, what up, bro? Nice to see you guys. Yeah, we're just Ricky's rebooting his computer. He'll be right up, and we'll go ahead and jump right in and get started. How's everyone's weekend going, bro? Are you there, Ricky? Good, good, Santiago. Glad everything's good. Yeah, dude. I don't really, man. It's hard to stay off of social media with everything that's going on, bro. Like, but I think it. I mean, I think it really mentally affects all of us. Everything that's going on as far as the riots and things like that. I don't know where you guys are, but I hope you guys are staying safe. But here in Albuquerque, there's not really anything that's going on. There's no protests. There's no rioting. There's no nothing. So all of us are pretty safe here. But just seeing it all over the news and then having it all over your social media, bro, it's just it's exhausting, to be honest. It's and I'm just consuming the content of it, not actually even participating or anything in any type of way, you know what I mean? So it's definitely crazy. It's kind of nuts to see, to think about, what's going to come of it, um what's going to be coming of it here coming forward. Oh, look, he's making progress.
Yo, yo, can you hear me?
There he is. Yeah, what up, bro? I could
Dude,
hear you.
apologize, man. I had, you know what it was? I had to do an update.
Oh,
Oh
no worries,
shit.
dude. No
Think
worries.
this is probably I probably can't have the sky in the background. It's gonna be too
Dude, look at
let
those
me
blue skies, bro. Look at
yeah,
that.
welcome to California, baby.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's gonna be too dark for a background though. Let me swap out. Yeah, I have to be out on my patio because my whole family's home, right? And I got kids, so
Oh, they're taking a nap.
be way too crazy.
Oh, no worries.
How
Cool,
you
bro.
been,
Well,
man?
good, man. I appreciate you doing this. We had talked about it like a couple months ago, you coming in and doing it. And I'm glad we finally made it happen.
Yeah, bro. I I love talking stocks, so
Yeah, dude. I nerd out on it. Like I get, get talking and it's hard to shut up after a while. And I'm like, did you
yeah,
get it?
dude.
I didn't take a breath, but did you get it? Cool. Are you guys staying safe, like with everything going on with the riots and stuff?
I haven't noticed anything yet, but I know some of it's kind of close to where we live. So thankfully, I haven't ran into any issues yet. But knock on wood.
Yeah, dude. Like it's pretty nuts. How do you think it's gonna affect the market? Or I was actually watching the futures when they opened a little while ago. We gapped
Yeah, it wasn't
down.
down big, was it?
Yeah, no. So like it was at 302 or 3020, and then now I mean this typical gap down on Sunday, and then we'll probably open up like at 3:05 again. Watch.
Probably gap up in the morning. Yeah. Honestly, like every time I try to make a prediction about how the market's going to react to any of these big events, it does the opposite. So
Exactly. I just I started and I think that's something that we should talk about a little bit because um I try to like say like even like on I feel bad like making a plan or a watch list now and then and like it's kind of inconclusive like information that we have and then we have pre-market and then it acts totally different. I'm like, well shit, like you know what I mean? So
yeah, well,
that's
the thing is that we know that, right? But people that might listen or might look to us for any sort of like insights, that they're going to be like, well, you said this on Sunday night. And I'm like, yeah, but that was Sunday night. And then Monday
exactly.
morning,
Exactly. So it's I know, and then I just feel like a clown. I'm like, oh, and then I've even thought about like, oh, maybe I won't do like a watch list in the morning for my guys, like because a lot of my stuff is like, waiting for confirmation and the actual price action, and so I don't know, it's definitely different, but um yeah, bro. Everyone that has you on their podcast and everything, and they all want to know how to read filings, and they all want to know how to dig and look and read S3s and 10Qs and all this and everything, bro. But dude, no, a lot of people don't know that you actually like to technical trade, right?
dude, I'm all technical. I mean, I read filings for I mean, peace of mind and some conviction, and maybe to make sure that I'm not going to get blindsided by something. But everything else is technical.
Cool. Awesome, bro. Like, what technicals do you like using? I know that I'm a big fan of Tim Parker, if you guys know. So I don't use the stuff he uses, but I'm a big fan, and we're seeing his stuff. But what kind of technicals do you like?
Yeah, he's amazing. I've always looked up to him, and we just recently connected after the Traders for a Cause COVID event. And it's funny because I didn't realize he used a lot of the same stuff as me, and so like it was really cool to see somebody that I've always admired and looked up to is like right there on the same kind of level, same page. We use them a little differently, but I mean, I use a lot of things that deal with pivots and confluence, and um, one of the things is recently he's opened my eyes to is confluence with different names that are all kind of in the same what he calls the ecosystem, right? But I've always been really, really big on confluence for time frames. So like I'm looking for something to be firing the same type of trigger or signal on multiple time frames so that I know that, you just get that, like, let's say it's for a long, you want every single time frame to be lining up for that same trigger. So you have buyers from every kind of angle coming in at the same time. And I'm big on the 20 SMA. I use it on pretty much every time frame. Obviously, keep the 50 and the 200 day on my daily chart. I like bigger time frames, so I like to look at weekly charts. I used to use a lot of volume profile and a lot of market profile, but have been kind of really zoning in on a few other things lately that have pulled me away from that. But a lot of the same stuff a lot of guys out there use that is just kind of adding to the file. Or actually, I guess I would say the other way around. The filings add to those. So
Yeah, so like because so I was watching his stuff and I'm like, okay, like I get it, like the SMAs, the anchor VWAPs, things like that I definitely get it. But then like I'm a really big fan of fibs, so a lot of people either like them or hate them, but I like them. I'm like, cool, well what if I get like an actual really important fib line at the same point as these other lines, and then that adds that in on top of it. And so because I like volume profile a lot too, like when I'm looking at things on a more macro level as well. So I like using that. And so I think you saw I was talking to him about it. I was like, well, cool. Like, what if I add these other things? He's like, well, I don't use it, but if it works, like, go ahead and do it. Like, so, um, so yeah, like I really like that. But it's cool to. It's funny because like I said, everyone asks you questions about oh, I thought they're gonna file today or they're gonna drop the um drop the hammer today, and you're like, nah, but you actually use a lot of technicals and stuff, and you don't even like I don't think you get enough praise and stuff for your technical trading, bro.
well, I'll tell you one thing that I always kind of have to chuckle about, and that is that a lot of guys that I trade with, they'll ask me questions about filings or whatever, but they don't use them per se. Maybe they just want to make sure that they're not going to get blindsided by something. So they might ask me a little something about it, but they really don't trade off of filings at all. But by and large, some of these guys will nail, and I mean absolutely nail these moves without the filings. And it's funny because some of the same stuff they're looking for just happen to coincide with the exact time when they'll drop something, like maybe announce that they raised or whatever. And it's like, man, as long as everybody has their way of getting that entry signal, I mean, as long as the end result is the same, right? We all get paid, then it doesn't really matter how you arrive at that end result.
Yeah, that's a actually that where I actually found Tim was on the impact thing for Traders for a Cause or whatever, and so that's why I found him for the first time. And then throughout that whole day of watching everyone, I was like, man, everyone trades so different, but everyone makes money. Like there's so many different ways in the market to make money. It doesn't matter what system you use. The only thing that is the same across the board is the risk management in it. So as long as you have your risk management, you have your system, and then that's cool. And that was the thing that blew my mind, because there's so many, like, especially like you talk about gurus or whatever and things like that. They're like, there's only my way. Like you have to do it like this, or, it's simple, or, whatever it is. And it's not, there's more than one way to do it. And like, I encourage my guys in my room, like, I'm gonna show you my way, right? But it doesn't mean you could take things from other people and add it to your stuff. And then, and I believe that's what makes you even better than that, if you're able to, watch it, learn from other people and add to your own style as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like for real, it sounds real cliche because you probably heard a million of the big guys say this, but it's so true. And that is the most important thing you can do is learn everything you can from anybody that can teach you something, but then make it your own. And so like, after, like, I've been trading for almost 7 years, which I don't mean that to come off as some sort of like I've been trading for a long time. I'm still a rookie, but like, it was just maybe 2-3 years ago where that really started to hit home, when maybe I had learned enough things from enough people that I realized like I'd be in a trade and maybe like I got my entry from this guy's type of style, but then using something else I learned from other people, I'm using that to help me follow the trade along and see how it's developing. And like now I'm to the point where like honestly I do trade from things from a lot of different people, but I've completely melded them into my own type of
Exactly.
what I guess would be called a style. And the first few years, when you're running around like trying a million different things, you probably don't have the consistency because you don't have the conviction from having traded that style long enough to really have the faith in it. And you might not know all the nuances, but you also, while you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, it's hard to dial something in. So once you experience enough things, you really need to figure out what works best for you, what doesn't, throw away the stuff that don't work, keep the stuff that does, and then try to make your own little brew.
Exactly. So like, and I'll say that, like, I like giving, I don't like, if I got something from someone, I'm not going to say I came up with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to say like, hey, like, this is where I got it from, and give them credit for it. Like, I'm never going to own something that, I didn't actually build or whatever. And so that's really important to me. But then, I put it all into this style, and it's like, okay, then you can make your own style with it or whatever. So I think that's huge. And then, and that's something that I was trying to teach this last week, actually, is where you try a bunch of different little things and add them to you, and then you build like your trader view or whatever. So then you have that data, and you're just building all that data that you have, and then you can narrow it down, like, okay, this is what I'm actually freaking good at. Like, but you don't know you're good at it until you try the different things and see what you're actually good at. And so that was like a big thing where I was like, it's better for you to lose, the $100 trying these different things and figuring it out. And instead of like me, like I took the big old hit where I'm trying to learn something new right now, like, and now I'm, I could have did it smaller, but it's, it's just not the same. So, but yeah, that's really good, good advice, bro. I like how you're so, what we say, outspoken. You really don't care, like when you do your rants and everything, bro. What's your biggest pet peeve about FinTwit, bro? Put it out there.
Just that it's all ego.
It's all
It's
ego.
all ego, man. I get so sick of that. And like I sometimes catch myself falling into it, and I just want to pull myself out of that, make it so egoless. But it's like there's some people share such good stuff, and then like they don't expect anything in return, and like they're just there trying to be a part of a community. But it's just by and large, a huge majority of it is it's they make it look like they're doing it for whatever reason, like some kind of altruistic thing, like whether it's to help somebody or share or grow the community, but really it's just about like trying to show off or like make it like I swing the big dick. And it's like, dude, some of the guys that I know are just absolute killers and like never post shit on Twitter. And like
Yeah.
I'm like, no matter, and once you realize that, it makes you feel so stupid ever to post something that has an ego behind it, because you realize like the if people ever wanted to come out and just make you look insignificant, they could. But I mean,
Oh man.
the
So when I was going through all my stuff last year, when I my account got stolen and I was homeless and all that, um I started documenting everything on Twitter, and then and on Instagram or YouTube. And then I got a DM one day like from a couple different people, and it was so weird that I would get like these weird things like in my DMs, and they're like, I think this could help you, and they just leave it there. And then I found like a few other people that they're like, I want to help you, and I like that you didn't just roll over like a little bitch. You just you got up and kept going. And so like now those are like the people that are mentoring and teaching me. And they don't have Twitter, they don't get on there, they don't care about it. But then they show me like what their system and their P&L, or I need help coding something or whatever, and I haven't given them a dime. I haven't given them anything for it. They don't post anything on there, but I know like I see like how they trade and stuff, and it's perfect, like if as perfect as it could be, right? And that I mean I'm sure there's only like stuff that I am seeing or whatever, but I know that they're freaking big fish, you know what I mean? And that's to your point, what you're saying. um like we walk amongst monsters, bro. Like there's some big old sharks out there that don't give a fuck about like us and all these FinTwit people, to your point. And it always says to humble you, especially like now that I'm doing more like flow trading and be able to see like those contract sizes come through. I'm like, damn, dude, they just took one position with $3 million. Like,
yeah, dude,
doesn't matter.
that's their form of tweeting.
That's their form of flexing, bro.
They're sending that big order flow out. They're like, oh, you saw that? That was me.
So that when I first got it, and I was telling my guys that one of my bucket list things is to have an order big enough to show up on there. So one
I'm
day,
sure you'll
dude.
get there. I'm sure
Oh
you'll
man.
get there.
Yeah, so like there's that, like as far as you seeing like because you moderate like for a couple other rooms and stuff, what do you see the biggest challenge for newbies to get started and like and get past that, like that sticking point? Oh, we're freaking going parabolic here on the futures, guys. We're at 303 right now.
Did it go? I opened up Thinkorswim in the background, but I haven't pulled the chart yet. But
Yeah.
I don't want to. Oh yeah, flying.
So what
like
do
we
you
said, man, can't even guess what this market's gonna do.
Yeah, so I'm actually like full disclosure, I'm actually have long calls in video right now, and I'm like, please go up. As soon
Yeah,
as I saw
rooting
it
for
gap
it.
down, I was like but yeah, like as far as the stages like that new traders go through, like how do you see that, like what's the biggest opportunities that you wish you knew, or things like that?
Well, I see it so much right now because I mean, you have a room, and I don't know if you've seen it. I see it every single day, and that is this really, really big influx of new traders right now. Like it's insane. There's so many new guys, and in my opinion, it's because of where we're at with our economy, and everybody's at home, whether you're laid off or not. Maybe you have to work from home, so maybe you do still have income, but a lot of people are really hurting for money, and you get these people that just chase shiny objects. So like, oh, they see an ad from whatever thing on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, and oh man, maybe that can work for me. Like I have $1,500, maybe I can trade. It's like, so they come in and I see them in the room, and they'll ask me questions like, and I can tell like by the questions they ask that their head's in the wrong spot. Like their only concern is how much money can they make tomorrow or today even, right? And it's like, well, I don't know, like how much can you expect to make? You can expect to like lose everything very fast. That's what you should expect. But like they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. And like they don't want, what I've noticed lately is a lot of these people, if they reach out to you and ask you a question, they don't really want to hear the truth. They just want to hear you confirm what they hope to be the truth. And so the first thing I think the new traders really need to do is like kind of like tamper their expectations, like take it down a notch. It doesn't mean you like have to not hope to make money, but you just have to like realize like a lot of these people out here have been trading for a long time, and even us, you know, like I'm 7 years in, and it's still a struggle all the time. Like it's a mental battle. It's a battle like against everybody else in the market. It's a battle against algos. It's a battle against big funds. It's a battle against order flow, right? So for you to think that you're just going to show up and you're like a week in, you're like, you figured out what best bid and best offer is, and like, okay, man, like you're in this. But the thing is, like, you're trying to hit Nolan Ryan fastballs. You're not, this isn't freaking T-ball. So, I mean, take it down a notch, really like kind of start small and build on get a good solid foundation and then build on it. So like for me, when I teach newer people, I'm trying to get them to just learn some really key concepts that I think once they understand those things, then they can start layering on other stuff, right? So how do stocks trend? A lot of people really just don't get that concept. And it's so basic, right? But dude, they think that stocks are just going to fly straight up or they're just going to fall straight down, but they don't really realize that isn't how stocks move. They have to trend. They have to make higher highs and higher lows or lower highs and lower lows. The only two ways they're going to go up or down, right? So once they establish that, and we can like try to show them by looking at charts and looking at price action as it unfolds live in front of you, can get them to see things so that they can visualize it before it happens, right? And then after that, we kind of try to add on it. But really, I think just this weird feeling that they're going to walk into the market and just be God's gift to the stock market and crush it right off the bat. Now, granted, when I started, it was in 2013. It was the pop stock boom, the first one. Yeah. And a lot of people did just walk in and kill it and make a ton of money. And actually, Psycho on Wall Street, Jesse, he's a really cool dude. He's got a good story about that. He was one of them. He like crushed it. And I actually got my ass handed to me right away. And for me, in my opinion, that was a blessing. And he'll tell you, him making a ton of money right off the bat was a curse because he thought he knew what he was fucking doing. And then lo and behold, he got his ass handed to him after all. So can you imagine going from like, I don't know what he had, like 10 grand to like $300,000 and then having to give that all back?
Yeah, dude. Well, I remember when I was new that like, you know, it was when, you know, I don't want to say when there was no algos or anything like that, but it was you know, shorting small caps was a little bit easier. Like you could actually like, okay, I could be early and eventually it's going to come back down like and be okay or whatever. And so like there was times where that happened to me, but then, you know, we get like a BBTH or, you know, things like that. And it's like, oh, no, we can't do that no more. And then I started getting squeezed. I'm like, okay, like fuck this, dude. We're gonna find a way to go long now. So, you know, to go ahead and join them. So, but I agree with you is that like I really believe there's such a thing as beginner's luck, dude, in the market because usually like there's been a couple guys that were like, well, I was doing good and then I lost everything and now I want to make it back or whatever. I'm sure you've heard that too. And so and I think a lot of it is that and I hate to put the blame on him but Portney, you know, talks it up like it's easy or like it's like, you know what I mean, like it's and he over glorifies it like a lot, like, you know what I mean, and it's not anything like that. And it's certainly entertaining, like a fuck yeah, dude, I fucking love watching this shit and it's entertaining, dude. But for to have the expectation where it's like, okay, cool, like I'm down $1 million now, I'm gonna hold overnight and hopefully it goes back up, and I think he gets lucky sometimes. So
Well, let's not forget that, like, if you have a $1,500 account and you're asking me how you can pay your rent with that, Portney
yeah,
doesn't need the stock market to pay his rent.
exactly. So, and that's what I say a lot too. I think that's a really good advice is just to count the money that you're trading with is gone already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you think of it as gone already, like, because if you have any type of attachment, any type of emotional attachment to it, then you're not. Yeah. So the reason why I think I was successful last year when I was homeless was because I didn't have to pay rent. I was sleeping on my friend's couch. You know what I mean? But if I had to like pay rent and I had to have a job and and I was like actually dependent on trading and everything, then yeah, it would have been a bitch. But I was sleeping on someone's couch and everything was free and everything, so I could actually just okay like just trade and not have to really worry about it. So and that's a lot of like people right now, like you're saying, that are laid off and they're like, okay, like I need to buy groceries for the week or whatever, like on this. And it's tough because um it doesn't work like that when you have that attachment where you are like, I need to make money today. And if you just come in as like, I'm just going to do my best and try to trade well, I surprise myself on those days, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So but yeah, that's a pretty good advice there, like especially if you're new, that the expectations and just the or and it sucks because like it comes from like these guys like name Tim Pikes and things like that, and then we're the ones that have to fix it like what I mean, after.
Dude, I'm telling
So,
you, yeah, undoing all the stuff that's been done from the marketing side of it.
yeah, so um and but yeah, I even got like someone that he came from sports betting and he's like, I want to do this now. I'm like, dude, this is not sports betting, bro. And so um yeah, but do you have any other stuff that you want to share or go over?
No, like I honestly, I just figured maybe you want to look at a few charts and discuss like the
Yeah,
market, but however
I
you want
think,
to run it, bro.
can you share your screen?
Yeah, one second. Let me put the charts. That, so let's see if it'll share this one here. You gotta give me permissions, I think.
Mm,
There we go. And let's see if yeah, there we go.
hey, let me get
All
my
right,
notepad.
so
Let me get my notepad. I'll take a note.
I don't know if maybe somebody on you are you able to see the chat on YouTube? Because I don't
Yeah,
have YouTube up right now. Can
yeah, I
they
can see it.
see? Can you tell what they're looking at right now?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
showing my ES chart?
yep.
Okay, cool. Well, the one chart I have on watch big time for next week is hog, and
Oh yeah,
I'm looking to buy this in the right here at that 50-day 20 to 1985, anywhere in there. And I haven't even, I guess you could try to draw some trend lines for some people or whatever, but whatever, you can see it, right? It just
yeah.
had a nice run and this pullback into the 20-day, and it was just really heavy on Friday. And actually, I traded on Friday. I think I took like a 5-cent paper cut on or something, but when I started looking at it more and more, I was like, dude, you know what? Maybe I was early, and I really like it back into this 20. I really like psychological numbers, so like 20, 25, 50, 100. Those are just
Exactly.
always for me really good spots to just try to put something on and see if that just wants to be where it's going to turn. And look at that volume on on Friday, geez.
Yeah, I see,
So
I see
yeah,
that.
that dude, I think this thing's gonna have a nice bounce in it. What was the other one? There was shit. I know you watched this one. Tesla is
Oh,
that chart is the daily on it is just it's screaming that it wants to rip high. And
dude,
with SpaceX over the weekend, I don't know,
yeah,
man.
I've been chasing this thing for 2 weeks, bro. And I'm like, okay, we're ready, and it gets to that 822 to 825, and then it's just been hard resistance right there, and like, fuck, come on, dude. And then I think one day it actually, I think is on this. You probably can't see my pointer, but right straight vertical where you were at, that
Oh
way
yeah, yeah,
above
yeah.
830, and I was like, oh, we're ready, and then fucking pulled back, but
Yeah.
and then I was trading it. So this is a big thing, is that I was trading my P&L on Friday because I was down, right? And then I was trying to play the move on Friday where every Friday they haven't allowed the market to close red. So I was waiting for that push up and from that red to green move, and that's why I was down, was because I was so sure of it, and I got that bias, and it didn't happen until like the last half hour. And then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like now I could actually play it. And then I was already too far down where if I didn't waste all that mental capital throughout the day, I would have probably held it overnight because it was so good. Like, and I was in from such a good part, but I just didn't want to have such a big loss, which is stupid. And now I don't have no position on it and watch it do well tomorrow. So
Yeah, that's it's I'm sure you can attest to this, but it makes it one. It's tough on Fridays to not trade your P&L because the last thing you want to do is like ruin your week. And then not only was it the end of the week, it was the end of the month. So it's like, dude, nobody wants to ruin their month the last half hour of it.
Oh, dude, that was me, bro. Like I was like, and I mean, I live stream on Fridays on YouTube, and the guys are like, and so it just started off bad because I had Nvidia on Thursday, and I meant to buy and sell calls to hedge in overnight until Friday, and I actually bought. Excuse me, I sold puts, and then I actually bought calls, so I had a bull position both ways. I'm like,
Oh
I'm a
shit.
freaking idiot, dude. And so then I was already off in a bad start trying to manage it. And then
Yeah.
so whatever, dude, like it's fine. And but that's what happens when you make those mental errors. And then like you said, it was the last day of the month, and I was just like, okay, like let's go ahead and let's try to have a good end of the month and stuff. And my bad, dude. Like I learned a lot from it. So I took that kick to the dick pretty hard, bro. So
It happens,
um
dude. Yeah, but it's
uh
been respecting the 20-day really well. And it's man, just that it's getting so tight and holding that 20 that I just feel like, over 843 is kind of where I have it marked. And I obviously it needs to clear that 870 area or whatever, but I think over 843, 850 it goes.
Yeah, they're on Friday at the end of the day. There's lots of 900 calls being bought and stuff too. So like you have that to add to it. Which after the bell closed and I looked at everything, I was like, I'm a freaking idiot, dude. Like, so, um, but yeah, I agree with you, bro. And it's to add to what we were saying is that I don't think people think you play big caps. Everyone's gonna be
Oh
surprised you
shit.
over here. Over here, you're looking at big caps, bro.
Dude, I would say okay, here's what I've been telling a lot of people. So because I like filings and like looking for the things that give me that conviction, like I don't like to play the small caps unless it's so friggin' juiced that it's like, it forces me in. Where it's like maybe a day 2, 3, 4 where it's just been squeezing where I'm like starting to lick my chops for it. Like I'm not playing them every day. Like I wake up and I look. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have the same kind of routine every morning where you check the gap list and see what's really gapping big. And like I feel like most people, if something's gapping like 20%, they're like, yes. They're like, dude, 20% ain't shit. Like it's not even on my radar. Dude,
That's big.
even
That's
some
huge.
dude, no, for small caps. So like it's something like if freaking, BYND or like a Roku or something gapping 20%, that's a different story. That is huge. But like honestly 45 to 50% even sometimes I'll look at and go, it's not really, I'm not gonna fuck with it day one. It's not really that, it's not that crazy. Like gap nowadays, man, like we've been seeing a lot of their gapping 100% in the morning. It's like
Yeah.
that's kind of like where I'm like, all right, it's really hard to ignore that. Like I honestly, like, all right, gapping 100% on what news? On some fluff. Let me go look at the filing, and if there's something there, then yes, I'll play it. But like that only happens a few times a week, maybe. Like the majority of the time, all my stuff is these large caps. And because I have the YouTube channel, everybody thinks all I trade is small cap.
Yeah. So, and I think that to go with that, what is really cool when you add to your playbook like that, it allows you not to FOMO into the small caps. So you
That,
like
and on top of that, it also makes it so that when everybody else is bitching that it's a slow summer, I'm over here making bank.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, I'll have up, the small caps on one screen, and then I'm like, oh, cool. I'm just gonna pad my wallet real quick, with this little, little squeeze or whatever. Like, it's not absolutely necessary. And
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, sometimes then I'm already too late. There's no locates, and I'm over here wanting a short. I'm like, fuck, dude, come on. I would have hit it right there, and you know how that goes. So,
Dude,
but yeah,
the locate game cracks me up. And like a lot of these new traders that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis, they constantly bitch about not having locates. And I'm like, yo, send your broker a thank you card for Christmas, because you probably would have got smoked on that.
oh man. Yeah, so like back in the day I used to actually send so I mean we were cool. I would just send them like actual like I'd send them some tequila and stuff, and they would I'm not gonna say this because everyone will go out and start doing it now, but that I would tell them overnight, like, if there's something that gapped up that day and I wanted it for the next day, they'll actually save it for you. And
Yeah,
so
dude, always scratch people's back, man. Like, there's if you think that other people ain't doing that, you're crazy.
that's a huge that was worth it. You guys hearing this and just its weight right there, guys.
Well, dude, I'll tell you, like, you guys think, like, I see a lot of people being like, oh, Steven Ducks shorted whatever stock and he uses Trade Zero, and Trade Zero didn't have locates. And I'm like, yeah, they didn't have locates for you. Trust me,
Yeah,
Ducks got
exactly.
them locates.
They didn't have any after he got them.
Yeah, he took all.
Yep, exactly, bro. And
God, man.
do you have another chart?
Yeah, let's see. I don't know if it messes my screen share up when I do that. What was this? Some of the other
So this
ones?
is your set you trade with that you're showing right here.
No, I use it for charting.
Okay.
I'm over at Cobra. So I execute everything on DOS.
Well, no, but I mean, like, what as far as technicals though, like this isn't your set that you trade with.
Oh, what do you mean? Like my indicators that are on my screen?
Exactly.
Yeah, for the most. Well, this is my daily chart. Like, you can't see. So these are my other time frames.
Oh, I see.
Well,
Okay,
obviously you can't see. Here's like a 5-minute chart because there's no data, right? But this is it.
Okay.
So but this is one I've been, dude. I'm kind of bummed about this chart because I wanted 38, and look how close we got to it.
Oh, dude,
And
don't talk to me about this ticker, bro. Oh man.
I text a friend. I go. I don't remember if it was last Friday or like going into the weekend, and I was like, bro, how about just set a buy on PTON for 38, load the boat, and we'll all just go have drinks. And he's like, hit me up the other day. He's like, yo, bro, came pretty close to that price you were. I was like, don't fucking talk about it.
Yeah. I actually, so good. If you were to zoom out right there, so the very first high that it put in, and then after that, it started like compressing and consolidating. And I was like, man, this has a huge short float. And everyone said like, oh, this is a stupid piece of shit company. It's going straight into the ground. I'm like, yeah, they're going to start winding up squeezing your balls over that shit. Watch. And
dude, that's the best time when everybody says that, man, put it on your watch list.
Exactly. That's what I did with Tesla when it went up the first time. Everyone's like, no, you're an idiot. And I'm like, I'm going to have to mute you real quick.
Don't mute them or else you won't get your alert.
So yeah, is this the yeah, somewhere right here, like where actually in January was where I was like, okay, it came down, it started trending up. I was like, maybe we'll break the that high and go to like 50. And I did actually try it, and it didn't and it just it didn't have it. We actually had this like right here is where the whole market started crashing. And I was like, man, it would have fucking happened if that didn't happen probably. And then I tried like 2 more times, and I really wanted it to get to that 50 goal. And I was like, dude, I had the right plan, but the timing was off, bro. Like,
Dude, when Citron came out on it, I was like, I told everybody in my room, I go, it's guaranteed to touch 50 now. And it did. And it was, I mean, obviously you can't see it on this chart. It was like, I think pre-market or something, but it dinged 50 on the dot. And, but when everybody is on one side of the boat like that, it's, I mean, doesn't mean that it won't go, like we might go down to, it might be a GoPro, right? It's like the GoPro bikes. It could be at $5 2-3 years from now. But bro, right now, this thing has got shorts upside down in it. And it reminds me of, what was the other one? BYND kind of.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was comparing it to when I was explaining everything. I was like, this is exactly like BYND. Everyone said this is a piece of shit. You know, they're shorting it, and then it took everyone for a ride. And I think it could still go higher, bro. Like, I think it could still, you know, push them
up. Well,
but...
dude, so what all we've done so far is like, so the reason I wanted 38, it's pretty obvious, right? Just for technical reasons. That was kind of the breakout. It would just be a retest of it. And when I was calling for 38, the 20-day hadn't really got up this high. So like I wanted 28 back here, and it went sideways for a few days. The 20-day kind of creeped up. But like all we've done so far is that first retest, right? So it would not surprise me if right in this area, like in the next, let's watch it this week. And what I'm thinking is a pullback that doesn't break this low. So like basically a higher low. And then the trigger would be over whatever kind of little high it puts in here. And 50 is the obvious magnet, right? So like if you can catch a 45 to $55 5-point move, right? That's gold. And I think you can get it in a single day, like an intraday trade.
Yeah. So
I don't think we missed the trade yet. Like I would have loved to load the boat at 38 on that first dip, but just because we missed it, I don't think we missed the trade. I think we missed the good entry for, you know, I mean, obviously if we loaded the boat at 38, we probably would have already unloaded the majority of the position. So, yeah, I mean, work was similar. So Slack, I wanted 28. And I still have the fucking alert, dude. You see how close it came?
Oh, man.
Dude, yeah. And so like this, me and another friend, I was like, dude, like he's all over it in the 30s, like 30 to 29. And he trades really big. And I was like, man, can't you let a brother eat? I was like, I just want some 28s. And it came so damn close and like no dice, right? And now this one, I feel like I missed the trade because this one, and so like let's imagine this is PTON, right? Here's the pullback. Didn't quite get me, but what did it do? It pushed up, it pulled back again, it made that higher low, and then we broke those highs, and now it's kind of off to the races. So I feel like it's a real similar chart. It just this one is probably gonna. I'm not gonna be buying it unless I don't know, maybe a pullback to 30 and risk kind of that 29 area, but that's kind of where the PTON trade, or what the PTON trade reminds me of.
Yeah, so that's like I would like it. I don't know if you want to switch real quick back over there, but
yeah, go ahead, man.
I would like for it to compress a little bit more sideways. It says you got to let me be able to do it, but the way that it looked like, sure? I don't know. Yeah, like I think you got to make me the host now.
No, so, you're the host. Go. Here. Let's see. Try it now.
There it goes.
I set it to make it so multiple people can screen share.
Okay, cool. So here's mine, guys. So like the way that I would like, and the way that I trade a little bit is and I have these fucking lines that come up all over the place. All right.
Dude, we have some different charts, don't we?
Oh man, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, and then I have other ones too. Like I actually like a lot what you and like Tim do, like with, you know, pivots and, you know, volume indicators and stuff a lot more. Like mine is more like momentum and trend. So and I think it's just easier like to do it like that, but just give me a second. But I like the way that you guys do too. I have other sets like that. There we go. So oh look, I even had it up. So
no, yeah, you do.
So what I would like, so if for it to come a little bit more sideways right here in this compression to go sideways and consolidate a little bit more, and so then we get that a little bit more inertia when it actually breaks up. So you're looking for this pullback and for it to go back up. And sometimes I miss more moves like that because it doesn't quite go sideways. But usually the expansion is a lot harder when that does happen. So I'll probably make an alert here later on tonight and when I analyze a little bit more. But it's right here at this fib line too. And then I also have the T3, my T3. So this would be nice if it goes sideways a little bit more and then test 50 again. So first 40,
Nice.
45, and then 50. Cool. So real quick, I'll go over some charts right here, guys, for me. So obviously, if you guys have watched the STOCKcast over the last few weeks, except for last Sunday, for whatever reason, we've opened up gap down on the futures, and then we we wind up squeezing everyone over the weekend, or we gap up over the week or on Monday. We usually open up a little bit higher. So right now I have NVIDIA calls right now, and I played this kind of stupid as well because of my mistake, but Ricky's making me nervous and making me go fast, bro. Um,
Nah, go, man.
so we had this huge move right here in NVIDIA, right? So what do you guys call them? The semiconductors or whatever, right? So
Yeah, the semi.
AMD, MU, all that. They've been pretty strong through all this. So when I saw this pullback here, when we got, this little fade, I was like, oh, okay, finally, like we got this pullback and it came straight to my resistance right here. And then also the fib line at that area. And so I was like, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and take that position. And then that's where I swung from Thursday night into Thursday night into Friday. But I was just thinking too small. Like it got up to my profit target right here at the neckline. So that was my fresh profit target, but I should have took some and then kept some for more to test highs again. And so then I had to like get back in, and then I'm in right now. So, but I wanted to out of the all three of the semiconductors like AMD. AMD is just being a piece of shit, dude. Like, feel bad for that one. It can't get over 57. And so whenever, um, so on this one here, so I wanted to actually test 350 and then continue up to highs and test around there, guys. So that's what I'm looking for tomorrow to see if I could get that nice move up. So and then I have the so everyone was buying 350 calls. The flow that was coming in was 350 calls, and then on Thursday and Friday they rolled it over to 370. So like it gives me some pretty good confirmation and like I should say more conviction that I'm on the right side. Um, so we're good with that, and that's probably that, and then like Tesla. So with this, this compression that we have, you can see I've been going ham with all my lines right here. And so same thing, like you could, even see on these on a bigger time frame, we're having these compression dots. And so this expansion should be pretty gnarly. So if I'm hoping in pre-market, like we dip down, so we get a little bit of a dip at the open for me to be able to get in if it sets up right. But if not, then I'll just smile and wave and watch it. Where do I see options flow? So right now, I use Flow Algo, but honestly, guys, I'm kind of having it out with them right now because their customer service sucks. So um, I didn't want to make commission off my room, and I didn't want to make money off my room. And I just wanted them to get a discount, and then they would get the discount that I would make in commission, and they didn't want to hook me up like that. I'm more worried about the guys in my room than me making money off that stuff. Um, so they're kind of assholes, dude. So, but anyone like that, dude, Cheddar Flow, Flow Algo, Black Box Stocks. There's also like other services that put it out there, but I don't, they're kind of janky. But the way that they have it like coded for the algorithm to see unusual volume and things like that are a little bit different. So sometimes like what comes up on Flow Algo won't be on Black Box Stocks, and vice versa and stuff like that. So it's just whatever you like and fits your style a little bit more. So but yeah, if you go to my website, there is so for the people that aren't members, you get a discount, which is stupid. So if you go to my website, you could go on there and dude, it's so dumb. Like I don't understand it. So anyways, but those are the two main charts. The Nvidia, Tesla probably play tomorrow, guys. And then the last one is Amazon. The one I got kind of want to revenge trade this a little bit with this range that it has. So this dip, and then so if we get over this right here, 2450 first, we could test 2470, 24, yeah, about 2470 right here, and then for it to continue and test highs, if we could get some momentum to the upside next week. So I'm really like with the riots and everything, guys, like kind of wary. So trying to just lock in gains where I could and just nail and bail, because you never know when we get some nasty news or something like that. So just newagewallstreet.com, dude. I'll put it here in the chat for you.
Yeah. So like, what do you think about we were all time highs, and I think nobody saw the virus being the thing that took out the Achilles heel and sent us tumbling, right? And then when that happened, everyone, all the bears came out. It's the bear market, blah blah blah, and then nobody thought you're gonna make a V bottom and go straight back up to highs. And so like what the trend has been lately is like whatever everybody thinks is going, and I guess this is kind of just stock market in general. It's always this way, but what everyone thinks is going to happen is always like you need to take a contrarian view a lot of times. So like right now, what everybody's saying is that we've come it bounced too far for us to go back to lows. So like I keep hearing that everywhere, and like what, maybe we push a little higher, right? But when everybody's saying that this bounce was too strong to just be like a bear rally, dude, maybe there's something else right on the horizon that, like, obviously I don't want bad things to happen. It's not like that, but I just feel like there could be another thing that's unforeseen coming and gonna prove everybody wrong again. I don't know. And I mean, one of the things that we were joking about at the beginning, right, was how people might listen to Sunday night and go make plans for Monday morning, and by Monday morning everything's changed, right? Well,
exactly.
The thing is like, thank God I don't get paid to make predictions, right? I'm not here trying to predict anything. I'm only reacting. So like,
exactly.
I usually go home cash at night, and when I wake up in the morning, maybe my plans change, but it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm just trying to react.
Exactly. And that's hard for me, because like I think for like people like me and you, is that people are looking for us for the answers, and it's like we know just as much as you do. You know what I mean? Like we could just show you how to react to what's happening, but for you to and I'm sure it happens a lot more to you and stuff, but I get tons of charts in my DMs, and they're like, what do you think? And my default reply is, it might go up, it might go down. Like, if you're not going to do your own technical analysis on it and put in the effort and tell me what you think for me to give my opinion, like, I'm gonna give you a stupid answer as well. And it might go up, it might go down, and people get mad. I've been blocked for it and everything, dude. So
I get this one a lot. Why did XYZ just have that big flush? And they go, because there was more sellers than buyers. Like, dude, why do you think that there's a reason? Like, I don't care what the reason. Just let it be.
Exactly. And so that's why I like to, like, in my whole mantra of like, my room is being, money biased, not, long, short, or whatever. Just play the action. You know what I mean? The action and the volume will always tell you the story. So did you, I've been meaning to ask you, I just found out the other day, I always wondered why you had a damn turtle in your name. And I didn't realize there was the turtle traders back in the 80s. Someone just told me that story the other day.
Dude, that's one of the awesomest stories in the world. Like, when you read the book, and it's
there's a book?
Yeah, Turtle Traders.
So like, yeah, someone told me the other day that it was actually like this dude, and he was trying to prove a point that he could teach anyone how to trade, and he called them the turtles. And I was like, well, that makes freaking sense now. I was like, so I just had a huge light bulb at that point. But I was like, well, that's what I was like, trend trading is pretty much what I like want to do too. You know what I mean? So,
dude, yeah, when you look into it, it's probably gonna hit home a lot for you. You'll like it a lot.
And it's just the name of the book is called Turtle Traders, because I just read the article on Investopedia or something like that.
Yeah, it's Turtle Traders. Can't remember who wrote it. But I mean, it's the story of Richard Dennis, and he's the godfather of the turtles, and like tons of the guys that he taught have gone on to just be like some of the most successful traders ever.
Dude,
And
like
still
8-figure
have,
traders, bro. Like,
oh yeah, big
awesome.
time. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's all systematic. So like, it's really cool to just see that, like, you know, just sticking to some rules and having discipline is really, it goes a long way. And I think so. Yeah, that actually might have been the better answer when you asked me earlier, what's the best advice for new traders? Discipline. It's all about discipline.
Yeah. So I just ran it on what's his name? Canny Tom. I think his name is Tom.
Oh,
Um,
Tom, yeah, he's
so I was like, man, like because I tell people they're like, well, I can't do this and I always lose and whatever. And I'm like, well, what are you doing in your personal life to be better? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to the gym or, doing, and I actually have like a channel in my room that it's goals. And I have everyone like on Sundays, write, their weekly goal in there. And then like one thing that they're going to, they're going to, one thing that they're going to, what we like, I can't think of the word right now, but
work
commit
towards.
to what they're
Yeah.
going to commit to, like to, working on their discipline or whatever. And so, and that stuff is like, there's one guy right now that he goes and he runs every day because the gym isn't open. And he says that like, I fucking hate running, but it's actually helping my trading a lot because if I force myself to go do it. And but yeah, I agree with you, dude. Like in that we're talking about like that aha moment where it's like I know how to trade, I know how to read a chart, I know how to read price action, and then you realize like, okay, like if I actually just stop out, like how would I make money? You know what I mean? So things like that. Dude, I'm like so space case, like I forget, like I got off topic with the whole turtle thing and I was really interested in what you were saying before that. But does anyone
we're just talking about like what you think is going to happen with the market.
Oh,
because
yeah, the market. So so that I read an article, like I like reading everyone's opinion on things, and it could be good or bad on it, but it was like a chart and a graph too where it showed every time the Fed started pumping liquidity in the market that they've never lost, like it's never gone down after the Fed starts pumping liquidity in. And then but like you would think that they would be, they would have a limit of how much money they're doing, but they're doing trillions of dollars, and they've openly said like, oh no, we got more, like we'll do more. So I mean, I was at the same point where when everything got to around like 260, or excuse me, 260 on the SPY, I was like, okay, like this is a good area for it to come back down. We're at that 61.8 fib on the ES and all that. And I was like, okay, like we could come back down and retrace a little bit, and it doesn't. So it leads me to think like, okay, like what would happen if everyone starts piling in again and pushes the market back down? Then the Fed is just going to put more money into it and then bring it back up. So I don't think they'll allow it to go back down, to be honest.
But you might, in my opinion, I think you have more than likely, instead of people piling into short, I think you're going to have a lot of funds that maybe got out, like stepped to the sidelines, that are going to start having some FOMO, right, to get back in, because nobody wants to be on the sidelines if the bull market's coming right back. I mean, not to say that they haven't already got back in, but I'm sure there's still plenty of money on the sidelines that kind of just like, dude, when are we going to get a pullback so we can start buying? Because it just seems like just been straight to F up since we hit that low.
Yeah, so I mean, I would like my whole plan was I was saving money to put in a long-term portfolio for me to like hold, and I didn't get a chance. I was like, man, like I didn't get a chance. Like
I bought a few, like, so I have an IRA account for me and my business partner, and I manage those. And so I bought a few things, and like I bought PANW and I bought CRM, and I had so much money on the sidelines that was he kept like, what did you buy today? What did you buy today? I'm like, I'm waiting. I wanted things to come lower. Like we started bouncing. I was like, well, don't worry. It's not going to go back to, like, it's going to come lower. Right. And so I made good money on the two that I bought, but I sold them early. Like I didn't hold them till now, which they're almost back at friggin' highs. And now I have a bunch of cash on the sidelines again. And it's like, damn it. All right. Yeah, I missed it too. So don't be mad at yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I had like a whole like shopping list. I was like, okay, I'm good. We'll go ahead and keep these for the long term. And I didn't even get a chance, dude. Like, so I'm hoping for the pullback, everyone too, so I could get in as well. But I don't know what it would take, bro. We've had a virus, we've had all the we're having riots now, and then we had the China stuff, and then I don't know what it would actually take for the market to actually come
I'll tell
down.
you what's funny is we were joking Friday. I was like, dude, this whole COVID thing had made me completely forget that we had this China trade war. And now that like the COVID thing, like the country's trying to like slowly move past it. And then as soon as we start to like open up certain parts of the country, next thing you know, you got Trump like yelling at China again. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Like that shit's still going on.
Yeah, exactly. So
We'll see.
for any to answer your question as far as any long-term stuff, like I would love for it to, I love that. So like for me, like I don't know for you. I mean, we had the thing in 2000, what was it, 2018, where we had that little, Thanksgiving to Christmas type dip.
Yeah, the December shit. Yep.
Yeah. So, but other than that, like, nothing like we've had over the last few months. And not to be honest, dude, I've been like, beating my chest a little bit that I've been doing, pretty decent through this. Like and I've kept notes on everything on like how, because it will happen again, like, it'll happen again, maybe 5-10 years or whatever, but I want to be able to reference how things actually, went during this time. And so I've been keeping notes of everything. And um but it's actually again, I don't know what it would take, but it's been nice to actually trade through it, dude. Like it's been pretty exciting. And then the thing is that, like, to go back to what we're talking about with new traders, I'm like, are you sure you want to start learning how to trade right now? Like this is like on level difficult 10, bro. So
yeah, that's what I tell everybody too. I'm like, dude, this is not the time to learn. This is the time. Well, no, it is the time to learn. It's just the time to also like keep your money safe, right? So like you can learn without risking money, and people don't get that. They just want to be in it right now. I'm like, dude, this is if you're new, this has got to be nerve wracking.
oh yeah, dude. Like one of my setups is like I call it the dip and rip right at the open, and it worked freaking perfect in the Trump market before February, because everything just went up. So it worked freaking nice. But now, like, that bottom comes out from under you, whew, like, you're having to hold on. So and then people see me do it, and I won't even do it no more. So like, so no one copies me or anything like that. I actually wait 10 minutes from the open to let that volatility die down. But yeah, so it's I agree. You can absolutely learn without any money, and um, but I couldn't imagine trading through this stuff as a brand new person. Like it's like trading small caps on steroids, bro. Like,
dude, I was talking to a good friend a few months ago, and he goes, if you had told me I was going to be making however many, like, a large amount of money by just every day waking up and trading McDonald's for a few points, I was like, he goes, yeah, I would have told you were crazy, but that's just the reality of it. Like the volatility was there, that you could trade names that were super liquid and, get a point, 2 points, 3 points maybe on really easy, fast moves and just be done for the day. And I mean, that's kind of like, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, that's kind of what our focus has been with our room, is just like nailing that early morning volatility for a few points and just be done.
Yeah. So once I like I know I want something that I'm doing. I have my biggest opportunity right now, to be honest and forthcoming with everyone, is I'm comparing myself to everyone. So I want to swing with the big boys, and I see these guys nailing these huge trades, but you don't realize that those are big trades for them because of the volatility right now. You know what I mean? So it's so I'm having a hard time where I want to keep up with them, and then I'm not really running my own race where I'm up 3, 4, 5,000, which is absolutely awesome. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, I need more. And then I'm down on the day, like, you know what I mean? So now once I'm up, like, I'm like, okay, I'm done, guys. Like, you know what I mean? But to your point and what you're saying, like, once the volatility dies down, if we go back to like kind of how it was before, like the volume starts dying, I'm a little bit worried, dude. I'm gonna get bored and just like complacent, like, going back to, how it was like that. There's gonna be like a little like how like kind of like you come down from a high, bro, and you're just like this ain't the same no more. You know what I mean?
You don't
Like,
want to admit that it's over.
yeah. So
It's a honeymoon, bro. So
yeah,
just make sure when it starts, when you first notice it, just make sure you admit it, acknowledge it, and then what we were just talking about, fall back on your discipline. Like your discipline will save you every fucking time.
yeah. So, um, it's like, okay, like are we losing it now? And then the next day we'll have like a big and then there's like days where we'll have like 500, 1,000 points on the, on the market, and it's like, okay, like what happened to the 4,000 points or whatever, and you know what I mean? Like those are small days now, and so
Yeah.
whatever. But does anyone have any questions for Ricky or me before we get going, guys? I'm sure his wife and kids would like to spend time with him.
They just want me to go inside and cook dinner. That's all.
Oh, what are you guys making for dinner?
Oh, we're gonna have some pasta tonight.
Oh, cool, bro.
Yeah. Been trying to, without the gyms being open, man, it's friggin' tough to take in too many carbs.
Oh, so I actually like my mentor or whatever, he did keto, and then I see a bunch of other people do keto, so I got into that, but I can't because I live so heavy. Like I passed out doing deadlifts one time, and so I was like, okay, like I gotta have some carbs. You know what I mean? I'd be keto-ish, and
Yeah.
and so I was actually lucky where like this guy he owns a gym, and he's like, yo, just pay me this money on the side, and of course he price gouged me, and I was still able to go to the gym and stuff and everything. So it's been cool.
Dude, I keep thinking like any day now they're gonna open this shit. I'm dying, man.
They haven't told you when they're, so like on Monday they actually are allowing gyms to open here all the way.
I hope, man. Like, so we live in a community here that has like a really nice gym.
Oh, I see.
It's like I don't even want to go buy a membership. Well, none of the gyms around me are open anyway, but yeah, like I like to be able to just walk to my gym. But I've been running and doing so like right. It was funny because I didn't know what time we were gonna go on, right? So like I hadn't heard back from you yet, so I was like, I'm gonna go run and do. I just run around the community and do push-ups and like vertical pull-up type things on or horizontal pull-ups on like bars I find. But I did that. I came home and like showered and was like, really exhausted. And I get out of the shower and I saw you message me. I was like, oh shit, I was like, I gotta get dressed and get on this, hop on this YouTube live real quick.
Cool. All right, guys, no questions. Nothing going. I usually have some more charts, guys. If you guys are subscribed to like my email stuff, I'm gonna send out charts right now. Usually I go over more, but I haven't had a chance today with everything going on. So I've actually, and when I say everything going on, I've been watching YouTube or Snapchat and Twitter for all the riot stuff. Dude, that shit is like nuts, bro. Like there's grown ass men knocking out women, and it's nuts, dude.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's just ignorance right now. I mean, people are doing more damage than good. I mean, I'm not really trying to be too opinionated about it. I know certain people probably going to be mad that whatever. Everybody feels one way or another about it, but man, like it is fucked up. The reason people are rioting is like a valid reason. I'm totally with it. Like things need to change, but at the same time, like, I mean, are we going about it the right way? I think people are just being emotional right now.
Yeah, there's lots of different agendas and things like that are in it as well. Like I don't know if you saw the hackers, the anonymous guys came and released all kinds of stuff about Trump and Jeffrey Epstein and all that.
No, I hadn't.
Oh, dude, like they were saying Trump raped a 13-year-old girl. Like they released all kinds of court documents, and it's nuts, dude. So I don't know, but my thing is dude, like I used to get really like involved in, put my opinion and be really loud about stuff, and I'm like, yo, if it's not affecting me personally or my family, like I'm gonna let you do you. But you come knocking on my door and start trying to loot my stuff, bro, I'm gonna catch a 223 to the head, bro. So we to watch out.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on Friday if you guys want to trade live with me. Ricky, if you guys are with me, you don't know Ricky online. I'm sure most of you don't know who I am, and you're fans of Ricky more than me. But Ricky's is just at Ricky Analog on Twitter. Mine is at New Age Wall Street, just ST for street at the end. If you guys want to follow me, send us DMs. We're always dude, Ricky's been awesome since I actually opened my room a year ago. Super supportive, bro. Like there's a bunch of people side-eyeing me and whatever, but always answered my questions, like always like supportive, dude. So I really appreciate it, brother. Like you're talking about ego, like on Twitter, like there's no ego with you. You're always helpful and very nice. So I appreciate it, dude.
I saw you. I always kept an eye on you, bro. And like I'm telling you, I always had a lot of respect for the way you walk the walk, right? Like no fucking excuses. And I see too many people with too many excuses, and I'm like, dude, if my boy can do it, y'all ain't got shit to fucking cry about.
Well, and that goes to like what I was saying. Like, I think I had an advantage, dude. Like I didn't pay rent or nothing when I did it the second time. But I don't like making excuses. And if you guys are looking for a great trading book that is not a trading book, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willenick. Once you start taking ownership of everything in your life, bro, things change, bro. And you just suck it up and admit you're wrong or whatever. Then things change. So, but that's all totally different subject for another time. I'll let you go, bro. You have a great night. Thank you for coming on. All right.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
All right. Later, bro.
All right. Peace, guys.